Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory goes to Yahweh. Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, the elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. Yeah, so this is Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, says Sudan, right, which are the actual real Egyptians, right? Sudan are the real Egyptians, if you didn't know, right? Not those people that's in Egypt saying that they're the Egyptians, right? Crisis. People are dying from hunger, right? So we're in that time, man. We're in that time where the Lord said, "Measure the time diligently in itself, so that you know that it is the time that I have spoke of from the beginning, man. The time that the Lord is going to come and judge the world which He have made, man. Right? Says the war, right, in Sudan has forced millions of people to flee from their homes, and the Lord said, "What? Think not that I come to what bring peace, man, but what a sword, right? And what is a sword for? A sword is made for what? War, right? And that is what's going on in the world. So there you go. That's part of the times of the signs in which we live, man, right? And created one of the world's biggest humanitarian crises. See, and ultimately, this is what our sovereign Lord wants, man. He wants the biggest humanitarian crisis ever, which really is going to be bigger, because they're just talking about Sudan. Wait till it's all four corners of the earth, man. Wait till it's all across all the world, right? Which it's touching that now, like it's getting there, right? It says the Norwegian Refugee Council, the NRC, is sounding the alarm to prevent more people from dying of hunger, right? Excuse me. It says in Sudan, in astounding 7.3 million people have been displaced within the country since mid-April of 2023, and 2 million more across the borders into neighboring countries. Nearly 25 million people need humanitarian assistance, right? Yeah, it says right here, update to August 2024, the recent published report by the Famine Report Committee has confirmed our worst fears. A man-made, they're not even holding back right there. A man-made famine has taken hold of one of Darfur's largest displacement sites, Zamzum camp near AI Fasher the the besieged capital of North Darfur, right? Yeah. It says, there's no escaping the suffering. It has been 15 months of uninterrupted violence and spiraling humanitarian crisis, says Mattil. Says the NRC's advocacy manager in Sudan. When it's not bullets, it's hunger that kills. Wow. You know? So they got so much violence, everything. If it's not you getting killed by bullets, it's the hunger that's killing people, huh? Yeah. So this is second Esdras, right? Chapter 16, right? Which the point I'm trying to make is in 22, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the whole thing right here that I have highlighted. But that part that I read in that article, it really hit home with the verse of 22. But it says, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Victuals, right, which is food, you know, the things that people get that, you know, they buy and sell, you know, the commercing, the different things that, you know, your everyday things, you know, to survive, your food, you know, the victuals, right, shall be so good, cheap upon earth that they shall, right, think themselves to be in good case, right? So there's probably once upon a time, even in Sudan, everybody was living carefree, doing whatever, blah 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 blah. The main place everybody lives carefree because this is the careless city, man, the careless woman, right? Which is America, Babylon the Great, you know. But just wherever people, they just ain't really expecting these things to happen in a fashion, you know, at one point in time, right? They thought themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow on earth. So now you got, like, I brought up the part where the Lord said that these things are scourges for amendment in my lesson that I did last night or the other night before. And when you're watching these people in these different countries, this is like a scourge. This is like a thing for an amendment. This is the Lord's trying to show you something, right? And but it's all good. So, but people ain't taking heed. So what are they doing? They just continue. Evil is growing. So even then shall evil grow upon earth, sword, famine, right? So even in the midst of all these things, the sword and the famine, right? And great confusion, evil is growing, man. People just doing their own thing. Yet and still, right? It says, this is the point right here. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth. So this is a thing it's global, right? It's global now. But you're gonna know it's global pretty soon. Or you may not know. You just know because it finally hits your front door. Because no one knows nothing until it hits them, until it's at their front door. Instead of looking at the scourges for an amendment, looking at things that's going on, what the Lord says, what measure the time diligently, in itself, that you can know what time that you're living in. But you ain't gonna know until it's at your front door, and until you're the one that's starving, until you're the one that's dying by the bullets or starvation. The guy said, or if it's the female, I don't know if that was a guy or a woman, but that person said if it's not a bullet, it's hunger that kills them. So that's why I said what? Evils grow upon earth, famine grow upon earth, sword, right? If it ain't for the bullets, then it's what? Famine. and great confusion, and many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. Right? See, many more people is gonna. That's nothing. What's happening in Sudan? It's gonna be many more, and the others shall not escape hunger. And I mean, Shlakia, and the others that escape the hunger. Right? So you have somehow accumulated the means to get something to eat, or you killed your neighbor and ate them. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So, it actually explains that even in 21, right? The sword, then famine, right? So, there you go, It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be waste, and the cities shall be cast down, right? So these cities are going to be cast down, right? And this is all, matter of fact, it tells you right here, like I was explaining about it before. It says, behold, the famines and pestilence and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. See? So all that is all for an amendment. It's all for you to understand what times that you're living in, man. Right? Yeah. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me, right, which is talking about the angel, then and said, measure thus the time diligently in itself. You know what I'm saying? What time is you measuring diligently, right? And when thus see, it's part of the signs. See, that's what you're measuring. You're measuring the signs. Pass, which I told thee before, then shall thus understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, right, the Most High, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, right, will begin to visit the world which he made, right, through his only begotten Son. He made this world through Yahweh Shai, right? Whether you accept it, believe it or not, it doesn't matter, right? Wherefore, when thus shall, therefore, when thus shall be seen, right? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right? So these things are actually happening right now. So these are the signs that you're seeing, right? Yeah. So this is News Weekly, right? And it says Japan is running out of rice. This was published September 6, 2024, 10:55, and they got re-updated on September 7th, 2024 at 10:59, right? So Japan is running out of rice. It says Japan's is expanding in unexpected rice is experiencing. So like Japan is experiencing an unexpected rice shortage driven by a surge in both domestic consumption and an influx of tourists, according to local reports. Yeah, so the demand has led to the spike of price purchases, restrictions in stores, and a scramble for alternatives according to Japanese newspaper. Says the sudden increase in demand came after years of declining rice consumption, according to the Nikkei. Rice demand in the country has been decreasing by about 100,000 tons annually since 2014, likely due to Japan's shrinking population. However, since the beginning of 2024, demands have grown for the first time in decades. The Nikkei reported that this rise is due to several factors, including a record number of tourists and heightened domestic demands amid rising prices for other food items. See, so now all of a sudden this so-called demand, which is most likely made up, right? We're talking about there's been man-made famines going on since 2020, right? So, hey, but this is just the news, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm just giving it to you, you know. But you got to think though. You got to think for yourself. You can't just go off of whatever, But also, it links up with the Bible. This is what the Lord said is going to happen. These are the times and the signs where the man-made or came directly from the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, has full control over all these things, man. And so this right here, so it's the CSIS, Chinese Food Security Key Challenges and Emerging Policy Response, right? So they're responding to their so-called challenges within their crisis and food challenges, right? So you're talking China's like a top country. They make more money than any other country in the world, right? Off America and all these other places, right? It's one of the top countries in the world, China. So, let's see what they say.
Food security is an issue that's really near and dear to Chinese leaders' hearts. It's tied intimately to regime and social stability, and China has a history of famines and food crises catalyzing political upheaval. So securing a stable food supply really is an economic and political imperative. Hi, I'm Lily McAwee, Deputy Director and Fellow in the Freeman Chair in China Studies, and I'm here to talk about my recent brief with Kevin Dong, Mally Prytorch, Patricia Kim, Jude Blanchette, and Ryan Haas, China's Food Security, Key Challenges and Emerging Policy Responses. This brief is part of a joint CSIS Brookings project exploring space for U.S.-China coordination on matters of shared concern amid intensified geostrategic rivalry. What we wanted to do in this brief was detail China's pursuit of food security, highlighting key trends, challenges, and policy measures, along with their impacts on the United States and the international system. Food security is an issue that's really near and dear to Chinese leaders' hearts. It's tied intimately to regime and social stability, and China has a history of famines and food crises catalyzing political upheaval. So securing a stable food supply really is an economic and political imperative. China's challenge here is pretty sizable. China must feed nearly 20% of the global population despite being home to less than 10% of the world's arable land and 6% of the world's water resources. Beijing has made great strides in reducing the share of the population facing undernourishment, which fell from around 10% in 2001 to around 2.5% by 2010, but it still faces a host of challenges. And what we do in this paper is look at the prioritization of food security as an issue under Xi Jinping, and then look at some of the challenges that China faces in securing a more stable food supply. So under Xi Jinping, we've really seen greater emphasis on self-sufficiency within food security, mirroring China's policies in the technology space, and then more of a national security lens taken to the issue of China's food security. We have seen China try to combat some of the key issues that it faces, which are really quite numerous when it comes to feeding its population. These range from inefficient agricultural practices, so declining arable land, the fact that China's agricultural landscape is comprised mostly of small family farms. This type of fragmentation really limits the spread of agricultural technology, for example. Supply chain logistics are another challenge. Changing consumption habits are one as well, right? So China has a rising middle class, increasing exposure to global cultures, and consumption of meat has more than tripled since 1990. So the diets of the Chinese population are changing as well. Water scarcity is another issue. China has pronounced geographical disparities in water resources across its geography, and many grain-producing provinces are actually quite water scarce in China. So that's another one. Domestic environmental degradation is something that a lot of countries are dealing with right now. And China has had its own share of food safety scandals. In 2008, there was a big one around the adulteration of baby formula with melamine, which sickened nearly 300,000 infants. So China really faces a host of challenges here, and we elaborate these challenges in the brief, and we look at some of China's emerging policy responses under the Xi administration. To read the full brief,
and you can't forget one of the Chinese presidents let millions of people die in order to basically to save food, right? And to build a to build a factory where the workforce was producing, right, cheap labor, right? Yes, as a Global Times. It's called Global Times. Yeah, Global Times, and it says China's assists to Cuba, a part of global operations to hegemony, right? This is on April 3rd, local time. The first batch of emergency food aid from China government arrived at Jose Martin Airport in Havana, the director of the Chinese International Development Corporation Agency, stated at the airport that Chinese government is proud of a empathetic towards every progress in every towards every progress on every challenge our Cuban friends face today. Assists in is a symbol of the friendliness of the Chinese people. Okay. Chinese timely assist once again clearly demonstrates its unwavering support for Cuba in overcoming food shortages and maintaining social stability. So like, yeah. Right. Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? Because was one of the other places that linked up with Cuba, which was Russia, right? And then Russia has a direct line from between China and Russia and Cuba. They're all hey, they linked up. So okay, that makes sense. Due to the Russian Ukraine conflict and climate change. Yeah, you gotta mention the climate change, right? Global food prices have sharply risen over the past 2 years, leading to several food shortages in some countries and regions. In last year's report, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres wrote something. I don't know. I just said over 2.5 billion people are facing several severe hunger, with some on the brink of starvation. This is an unacceptable, right? So this is, due to these people, they're saying this is happening everywhere, all over the world. 2.5 billion people are facing severe hunger, starvation, everything, right? See, I didn't want to read no more, but this just kind of goes into what's going on. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 2. And it shall come to pass, right? It ain't no maybe, a possibility. No, it shall come to pass. It's going to happen. If they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth, right? Because we're speaking to you, and we're telling you, who you are, your nationality, first and foremost, the true name of the Most High and His Son, the power of the Most High and His Son, right? That you're required to have a higher morale, right? Due to the Bible, due to the law, statutes, commandments, and the faith of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, right? Well, you may be, hey, well, what do we do? Well, how do we do that? Some people, well, how do we keep the laws? Do we keep all law? Well, what happened to grace? Well, anything to just have a thing to say against, the scriptures and how we're trying to teach you, or how we're trying to get you to see the Bible in its correct form and its fashion, and it's the best that we have right now, right? Because we cannot keep the law perfectly, no, but you must attempt to do the best that you could do, because it's only our culture, it's only our duties, right? If the wages of sin is death, and the only way you could sin, it says sin is the transgression of the law, we must try to hold the law to the best of our ability, man, right? And not be simple, right? But people, well, where forth do we go? Well, how do we do this? And what do we do? Hey, look. Then thus shall tell them, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which as are for death to death. Hey, look, whether you're here for bear, hey, if you're meant to die, hey, you're gonna die. Hey, such are for death. Hey, you're gonna die. That's it. We taught, we put it out there. Hey, whether you hear it or forbear, and such are for the sword, right? Because the modern day sword is the gun. We read in that other article in Sudan, if it's not bullets killing them, it's starvation, it's hunger, right? And as you can see, what Japan is having their so-called crisis on rice and all these different things. China's having theirs, and then China's trying to chip in and then help Cuba with theirs, right? So these things are all around the world already. Hey, these are different places in the world where things are actually happening, right? Because it ain't at your front door. It's like, oh well, I ain't worried about it. Well, it's coming to your front door soon, right? So that's why the Lord's saying that you're going to listen such as for the sword, right? The modern day sword is the gun, or whatever they can get their hand, because eventually they're going to run out of bullets. But as of now, while there's bullets, hey, the modern day sword is the gun, and then that ultimate sword is the ICBM missile, which the Lord said it will be bathed in heaven, right? That's the Lord's sword, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai sword, right? And such are for the famine, right? See, which is what we're talking about, right? Subject of the matter, famine, to the famine, and such as are for the captivity, right? Which it's going to be concentration camps, right? You're going to be moved to Guantanamo Bay and be tortured. You're going to be moved to somewhere else and be tortured. You're going to be moved somewhere else and be beheaded for the name and for the sake of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Those true believers are going to have to suffer to be a martyr. You're going to have to get your head chopped off. Yeah, we're in the time of great distress, man. So these are the signs. You're going to be moved from FEMA camp to FEMA camp. Right? You right? The Lord said for you to be pilgrims upon earth. Right? So it's gonna be the Lord's gonna shake up the earth, man, so to speak, man. The Lord, like Apostle Harl went into that. It's gonna be a great sifting, right? It's gonna shake you all up, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds. So hey, it's gonna be all sorts of ways that you're gonna die in these last days. Saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, the sword to slay, and the dog, right? Because hey, when you people got these so-called domestic dogs, what happens when there's such a famine and you can't feed your dog? And then people got some of these weird dogs, right? Oh, I forgot the name of that dog. There's this freaking dog that's a rare breed. I forgot the name. This thing is massive, huge. But those dogs are here in America. Now, what happens when you don't feed these dogs, man? You got these exotic animals, these exotic dogs and animals that's all here in America now that would have never had been here, right? The dog to tear and the fowls of the heavens and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy you, man. And that's the thing that's going to happen, man. These are the things that's coming, man. Right? And these are already signs. It's already happening. But you're going on about your bit like you don't know what to do. What should we do? How do we know we the Israelites? Hey, man. Hey. You know? These are the things that's coming, man. And they're already here, technically. But it's going to grow, right? The Lord says it's going to grow. Even they say the hungers are growing, right? The demands are growing, right? This thing is more about Jacob's trouble than it is about anything, even though all these other countries are about to starve. But there's Israelites there because we're scattered all around the world. But the main destruction is here in America, Babylon the Great, right? Which where we're trying to, basically we're fishing. We're fisher of men, really for the elect around the world. But the main place is America, Babylon the Great, the place of our oppression, the bitterness, constraint, right? So Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 11, for the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? Because we're here in America oppressed together. It says Judah and Ephraim were oppressed together here in America, Babylon the Great, right? Have dealt very treacherously against me, saith Yahweh. And we're the main place we have dealt treacherously with the Lord is here, Babylon the Great, man. We're still worshiping many different gods and different ways, man. Worshiping ourselves, the women, right? Money, right? Was it cheesy rice, right? White man, Messiah, right? When the Messiah is a so-called black man, right? Buddha, Islam, which they call Allah, which in the Hebrew Allah just means God, which you being an Israelite, you're a God. So you know what I mean? And then God in that sense meaning power, right? Which means that, the angels go about doing the biddings of the Most High, just like we are. Like I'm a messenger. Angel goes into messenger, and I'm giving you the message, doing the biddings of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man, right? The message. But instead you deal in this place, you deal what treacherously with the Most High, right? With me, saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Same-sex marriage, right? You know what I mean? Because basically that's saying the Lord is imperfect. The Lord said that He made there's a man for every woman and a woman for every man. So the Lord's a liar, right? You who turned the truth of Yahweh into a lie and served the creature more than the Creator, right? That's this place, man. They have belied Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and said it is not He. So you say, hey, look, that ain't, you're talking nonsense. That ain't of God, right? God loves. God don't have no anger. God don't hate nobody, right? That ain't of God. Not my Jesus, right? Salakia for even say that word, but that's how they say it though. And said it is not Him. Neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. And these are the things that is being said to you. Matter of fact, let's because I was just going to read that verse, but it's and the prophets shall come wind and the word become wind, and the word is not in them. See, so there's these prophets or these pastors that teach you that God is just love. I mean, you could love who you want, you could do what you want to do. There's no such thing as keeping the commandments at all, right? Which we know it's not gonna. It's not what saves us. It's the faith that saves us. But what's a people or a place without laws, without conditions, without saying if you break this the punishment you get? So you mean the self-proclaimed so-called white man has enough sense, which really came from Jake, right? The stoplight came from Jake, right? So-called black man created the stoplight. So-called black man, he created the stop signs. The so-called black man, the things that they give you tickets for, a so-called black man created that. They'll stop you for headlights or tail lights. A black man created the headlight and the tail light. They'll stop you because you don't have your seatbelt on. A black man, a so-called black man, what they call black, which really is an Israelite, created the seatbelt. You know what I mean? How ironic is all these things. But these, hey, like the Lord said, these things are scourged for amendment. It's things are to get you into place, man. But these prophets, your so-called pastors, come out and speak to you And they're just speaking wind. It's nothing. The true men come out and speak to you, and you hold that as if it's nothing, right? But the ones that the Lord declared, but shall become wind, and the words is nothing in them, right? Because the Lord ain't dealing with them. They don't have the unction from the Holy One to know all things. This shall it be done unto them, right? Because they lied to the people. Wherefore, thus saith Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakal, because ye spake these words, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, I will make my word in thy mouth fire, and these people wood, and it shall devour them, right? Hey, and ultimately what ICBM missiles, what the Lord said, I got 4 ways that you should be judged, man. Right? The fowls of the air, the dog to tear, right? The famine, and the beast of the field, man. So it's going to be some kind of way you're going to be destroyed, man. Right? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 22. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, of hosts, and hosts meaning armies, man. And everything's the Lord's army. Whether if it's the sword or famine, hunger, your own body, right? You know, people, I was just thinking about that, how much the Lord is the Lord of hosts. When you think about it, the Lord can cause your own body to attack itself, right? Like people have diabetes. Diabetes is your body attacking itself, right? You have a lack of insulin in your body, so your body's not producing insulin, so you need these so-called insulin shots and all these other different things in order so that you don't just drop dead. But the Most High has control over that, right? I had a tooth infection, right? I gotta go to the dentist, and that's what kind of made me think about it, because you know the when you deal with infections, especially in the tooth, you know your thing is already close to your brain. So if I would have went a little bit longer without treating it or getting it treated, you know, because at the time I didn't know it until it started giving me pain, but it had been going for a while, technically. But then the thing can go into poison and go into your brain. You know, these are things. Hey, the Lord can have your body attack you. The Lord is the Lord of hosts, man, right? Of armies. It says, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword, right? They say, even that article said, hey, if it ain't the bullets killing them, it's starvation or hunger killing them. So the modern day sword is the gun, right? Or anything else once they run out of bullets in these last days of Jacob's trouble, right? Which we're in the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, right? Their sons and their daughters shall die by the sword. So once mommy and daddy get killed, and it's just some little kids around, you know, the animals or either the animals are gonna eat them, or they're gonna die of famine because they're gonna know how to feed themselves, right? Or the neighbor's gonna come and snatch them up and eat them, right? In that time of Jacob's trouble, man, in a time like none other, man. And there shall be no remnant of them, for I will bring evil upon the men of Anthenoth, even the year of their visitation, right? So ultimately the Lord is going to come and visit the world which he made, man. Like he said, man. And the time that the Lord is coming to visit this place, man. And you're going to know that there's a power and he dwells amongst the elect. He's going to dwell amongst the Israelites, right? You know? Yeah, so this is Job chapter 5, verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, right? And we're coming in the time of Jacob's trouble, right? And that he is Yahweh, right? Yahweh through his only begotten son, which is Yahushai, and Yahushai means he delivers, right? Thee in 6 troubles, yea, in the 7th there shall no evil touch thee, right? And we're coming in a time that it's going to be so much evils and apparitions and spirits and thick darkness that you could touch the darkness, man. Right? In the famine, he shall redeem thee, right? And the Lord said that we are bought with a price, man. We're bought by the blood of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So when you buy something, what do? You redeem it, man. In the war, from the power of the sword, right? So there we go with that the famine and sword all together again, right? If it's not for the bullets, it's hunger, right? And that's what's coming to this place, man. And thus shall be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shall thus be afraid of destruction when it cometh, right? Dealing with the elect, man. While all these other people, because we've been preparing, we've been looking at the time, measuring it diligently, putting things away in that spiritual bank in heaven where rust and moth does not eat, ultimately sending up them prayers, man. Right? We know we need a savior, right? We're not going to keep dealing in madness. We're not going to go back to our vomit. We're just not, man. We're unmovable in this faith. We're not moving. We believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We don't care how many vocab Malones you send. How many people say, oh my God, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. And see, that's what they're setting up now. Because I notice a lot of these so-called black people, right? I'm gonna call them what they think they are. They think they're black, and they're supposed to. They're Israelites, but in their mind they're black, and they're giving you the vocab Malone spill. Come on, you're wrong. You need to just come back and just admit that you're wrong. You mean as if you really care? Just like vocab, you don't really care. You don't even know who the fuck you are. Salakia for that, pardon my Italian, you know what I mean? But, you don't know who you are. And you want to tell me about come back and this and that, like some mess, man. Madness, right? So at destruction and famine, see, come on, what's coming, man? What's upon the earth right now? Not it's coming. What's upon this earth? And it is rapidly growing. It says it's growing. And at destruction and famine, thus shall laugh, man. Saying that's ultimately what we're planning to do, Lord willing, man. Right? Because right now it don't seem so funny, but if you're in that moment and you're making it through, and you're watching all these people drop dead, especially these people who's trying to be on the vocab Malone spill, trying to give you the doubt. Well, maybe you're wrong. What if you're wrong? Like one of them dudes used to say that to me back even when in the world when I believed you believe in the Bible, which we knew the Bible was real, but even in the world they'll give you some spill like, what if you die and when you die there is no God? Well, if I die and there's no God, what difference does it make? That's what I gave him. Well, what difference does it make? If you die and everything is black, how would you know? So that's some BS thing to give you to put doubt in your mind. And some people are foolish enough to believe in that. Well, what if God don't exist? I just did all of this for nothing. Well, what if he do? You're in trouble, right? Right? And thus shall laugh, neither shall thus be afraid of the beasts of the earth, right? See? For thus shall be in lodged with in league, so I can thus shall be in league with the stones of the field. Well, hey, the Lord said you should be as a rock, a hiding place, as a rock from the tempest, right? Hey, the stones of the field, man. The stones give you shade. Hey, in the time of Moses, it gave them water, right? Of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee. See, while other people are getting mauled and killed by these wild beasts, and they're dying by the sword, being destroyed by the sword, which is the modern day gun, is the modern day sword is the gun. And if it ain't for the sword, it's famine. And the Lord said, you're going to laugh at the famine, and nothing's going to touch you. And even the beasts of the field, or even even the stones of the field, should be at league with you, and the beasts of the field should be at peace with you. So hey, man, call Laudium Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, right? To the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence and a ball.